Welcome back, friends, and gather round for episode 23 of Simply Walking into Mordor. As always, this is Nauglir here, and a special welcome to you if this is your first time watching with us. Now, I must admit, I have done a bit of a mistake myself. I accidentally recorded the whole last episode with no audio from my microphone, so this is a voiceover from future Nauglir. There we go. I did want to say a very special welcome to you if you have subscribed. We are at 28 subscribers, and it is astounding to me how so many of you have already subscribed. I just uploaded these videos. I didn't even know how anyone could find them, but somehow you did, and somehow you are watching them, and so I'm very thankful if you are. So thank you for that. Now today, we are going to be doing some epic quests. If you remember from last episode, we're going to continue our story from Epic Volume 2, and we will be doing that today, hopefully getting through as much as we can. Well, actually, I know exactly how much we got through because I've already played it through. We got up to Chapter 5 in this playthrough, but currently we are recording, or we are up to the foreword for Book 2 of Volume 1 in the Epic storyline. And we are sitting here next to Candaith, and hopefully I'll get off my butt soon and get going, and hopefully this voiceover is not too jarring. It is my first time doing a voiceover in the future, and I have forgotten what I said during play, so hopefully I can cover everything I meant to cover, and we can get through these quests together. Alright now, Nauglir, come on, get off your backside. Should be ready to go soon, I think. And hopefully, yeah, we will be doing our quest very shortly. We're sitting here at Candaith's camp. If you remember that Gandalf began Book 2 for us. He sent us to the Ranger Ceradan because he was asking if we knew where Radagast was. And Ceradan did not know where Radagast was, and now he has sent us to Candaith. We're going to ask him if he knows where Radagast is, because, as we know, Gandalf has been betrayed by Saruman, and so Gandalf wanted to know how Radagast was going, as he heard there was some evil in the Lone Land, that Radagast had gone there. So, hopefully, if at any point Nauglir gets off his butt, we will start those quests. I think also we did need to do the small business of assigning a trait point before we began, so hopefully I'll be doing that at some point. I'm not sure what I'm doing at this point. Hopefully this is entertaining for you. I am a bit bummed at myself, obviously, that I did not record the audio. I must be looking at what the quest is here. That I did not record the audio for this episode. I will endeavor to do just what I said before. Right, so we've got our traits, and I think we're looking at the different traits available for us. So we've got lots of new traits available at level 20. Well, actually, it was from a class D completion. With our extra number of targets, which also gives us Swift Strike to Swift Blade, which is a very useful skill. It'll make Swift Strike a AoE skill instead of just a single target. That'll be very helpful. We could give ourselves extra blade damage. We could give ourselves some extra might. That's not that useful, and we've already got Battle Frenzy. We could get ourselves extra blade wall damage, which gets up to 100%, lots of extra damage, but there's even some more exciting ones in our next line of skills, next line of traits. So we've got Improved Raging Blade, giving us extra Raging Blade damage, which, as you already know, Raging Blade is a huge damaging skill, so giving extra damage to that would be greatly beneficial. Then we have Mighty Blast, gives extra Horn of Gondor damage, not great for us at the moment, because we don't even have the Horn of Gondor skill. And then, finally, we have the Ardent Frenzy. The Ardent Rage trait, sorry. The Ardent Rage trait gives extra fervor to Battle Frenzy when we use it. That will, if you remember, we currently get 2 fervor when we use Battle Frenzy, and Ardent Rage will increase the amount of fervor that we get when hitting it. But more than that, at max rank, Battle Frenzy will reduce its cooldown by 30 seconds, reducing it to just a 30-second cooldown. That's a massive bonus. And it will also restore 1 fervor every second for 10 seconds instead of 1 fervor every 3 seconds for 45 seconds. That can seem like a bit of a downgrade, but actually it is a really powerful upgrade because it gives us way more fervor when we press the skill, which is when we need it. So that is one of the best champion traits in Yellow Line, I believe. But there are just so many good choices. I think we're going to go with Broad Sweep here. That's what I did choose. And that's because we're just going to get extra damage from Swift Blade because it will become an AoE attack. Now, getting that extra Swift Blade damage will let us do more damage to more enemies when we're fighting, because Swift Blade is a very quick skill. Doing damage to 8 enemies would be great, and it will also give us a point of fervor when we use it. So that's very handy. 8 targets, 1 fervor, just a quick attack, just a frontal attack, if you see there. Just attacking in front of us, just a quick little slice there. That's very helpful. And that trait also increases our AoE target max skills for all of them. So, I think now we're going to get underway with our epic quests. So, hopefully we'll speak to Candaith soon, and I can read the quest text. Here we go. Candaith has a couple of quests for us, but we are just going to do the book ones. So, hopefully we'll click forward, aiding the order. There we go. Radagast the Brown. I have not seen him, and know not of his passing, but there is a cold and a shadow that has come to these lands of late. That's pretty troubling. The Lone Lands is meant to be kind of warm and desert-like, but apparently there is cold and shadow. That is troubling indeed. Alright. Cyrodian's word comes late to the Lone Lands. If Radagast the Brown passed into these lands, then perhaps hope is not lost in this place. I have returned only recently from a journey in lands far to the east, lands held firmly in the grip of evil. When I returned from that journey, I learned to my dismay that evil does not stir in the east alone. Goblins now roam to the south, while their larger and more ferocious cousins among the orcs spread through the weather hills like a festering plague. I must find the main body of the orcs. If you will assist me in driving back the enemy in these hills, I will begin the search for Radagast the Brown. What say you? I'm pretty sure we will accept the quest. There we go. Alright, so our job is to defeat melee and ranged white hand orcs who are around in these parts. Candaith said some interesting things there. He said that if Radagast has indeed passed into the Lone Lands, hope is not yet lost. But he was mentioning that, yeah, cold and a shadow had come upon the land since he returned to the east. So since he returned from the east. So it means he's been on a journey, perhaps to Rune, where the Easterlings come from, but we don't know. But since he's returned, we know that things have not been going well, and there's lots of orcs here. So we're going to slay many of them, drive some of them back, and hopefully find out what they're doing. So let's grab a bunch of them. They are much lower level than us, so we can grab up heaps of them with ease using our Swift Blade skill there. Raging Blade, bring them all down, and killing them with ease because of how low level they are. Look, they're 22, we're 26. No match for us, and especially with our great sword. So, we need to kill 8 melee and 6 ranged orcs. And so we're collecting up those at this point in time. Finishing off this pillager. Alright, moving on to the next camp now. Looking for more orcs, melee and ranged. This is kind of a weird experience for me, voiceovering in the future. This will not be what normal happens, hopefully. I just left my microphone on mute for some reason, and the audio from my voice did not record, but looks like we're joining battle again. We're going to fight at this ranged enemy, bring in heaps of enemies to fight at once, and using our AoE skills to great effect there. It looks like we need one more of each melee and ranged orc. There's a ranged one for us. Bring that down quickly with ease. And then looking for another one that's ranged. That's ranged as well. Yeah, I was saying it is a bit awkward doing this because I do know what has happened already. But hopefully this will be the only time that it's a mistake. Yes, we accidentally triggered that ranged orc. So just dealing with him quickly. Using our deed skills on him to kind of get them along. I think I do quickly check what deeds we have to do. Pretty impressed with myself that we managed to do all 3 deeds from 1 tier as our first 3 deeds completed, giving us an early trait point there. Very helpful indeed. Okay, there's our 8th melee White Hand Orc. We're going to mount up and return to Candaith at his camp. Hopefully, he can decipher what is going on. Maybe he's got some news about Radagast. Hopefully he's found him. More people here. So many people around playing LotRO. Good to see. Alright. Book 2, Chapter 1. I thank you, Nauglir. My thanks are tempered with concern. I've never seen such a force of orcs like this in Eriador before today. Organized and well-provisioned. They hold an encampment in an outlet within the Midgewater Pass, and bear a strange charge on their banners and shields, one that I have not seen before. Their numbers at this camp are great, but the day may come when we can drive them howling from the lowlands. Not today, I fear, but perhaps not so far off. There is another matter that demands our attention. An urgent matter. We will see to the destruction of their camp in the Midgewater Pass later. I wonder what this urgent matter is.
What do you need? As
I began my search for Radagast near the Midgewater Pass, I witnessed an orc messenger depart in great haste. Quickly I followed, trailing him eastward along the shoulder of the hills, and then south. But my search was interrupted. I could follow no further, for foul Crebanes circled above, and to be discovered would do greater injury to our work here than I could permit. Once again I must call upon your aid. The messenger likely carries with him orders to the outlying camps. If you can intercept the messenger, we may learn the nature of these orders. So armed, we will be better equipped to deal with the orc threat. Search among the orc camps in Glumhallow to the west, and return to me with the orders this messenger surely possesses. I will seek sign of Radagast's passage elsewhere. Rightio, so, looks like Candaith found an orc messenger who thinks will be carrying orders while he was searching for Radagast, and he was pursuing him, but could not continue because Crebanes were watching him. And Crebanes, if you don't know, are spying birds used by the forces of evil in Lord of the Rings, and he did not want to be seen by them, so he remained hidden, and now we are to find this messenger ourselves and take the orders that he carries. Right, just looking around here, and I think we found him. There we go. Okay, so we're going to switch into our single target mode. We haven't assigned our extra trait point to this trait line yet, but we're just going to bring him down quickly and then apply that trait point as we ride back to Candaith. Alright, bringing down the messenger quickly with ease, and yes, a massive hit of 1,774 damage there to that messenger. Bring him down with ease. There we go. Okay, can we read the orc orders? No. They're written in black speech and we cannot decipher them. Oh well, that's too bad. Hopefully Candaith will be able. Now, looking at traits here, increase our critical chance. Don't have hamstring yet. There's not really that many good traits for us to get, but the damage for strike skills is the best option. So we're just going to apply a point into that, I believe, if I remember correctly. There we are, applying that point in there. And switching back to our AoE mode. Ready to speak to Candaith again, as we've found the orc orders. Alright. Obviously, he must have been saying something very interesting at this point in time, but for the life of me, I cannot remember what it is. Oh well. And okay, hopefully. Oh, okay. We're talking about the orc force in Eriador, which is this main area, not just the Lowlands. Anything west of the Misty Mountains, and it seems that Candaith has never seen an orc force this large in Eriador before, which is quite surprising that a ranger of his character and seasoning might be so worried. Alright, these orders are written in the black speech, Nauglir, a tongue I have never desired to learn. I should have been prepared for this, but I hoped that we would learn something useful immediately. While you were seeking the orders, I followed signs of Radagast through the hills. I was not alone in this pursuit, as a patrol of orcs soon happened upon my location. I was forced to break off my pursuit, and I lost my bow as I evaded the orcs beneath the eaves of the wood. It was a close thing, Nauglir, a close encounter, that yielded insight into the orcs' leadership. You did well for your part, and soon we will understand the intentions of these orcs, as well as their leadership. Alright, so Candaith, there, lost his bow as he was intercepted during his search. Right. So, what has happened? I could have easily evaded the orcs I pursued, Nauglir, were it not for the War Master that travelled with them. Uzor, they called him, and gave to him what respect that their kind reserved for their strongest and fiercest warriors. It is likely that Uzor returned to Bleakrift within the Midgewater Pass, but that seemed to be his domain. He must be slain, and whatever orders were given him recovered. Bleakrift is northwest of here, on the northeastern edge of the Midgewater Pass, surrounded by a shallow body of water. Defeat Warmaster Uzor and look for a letter of some kind near his person. Return to me victorious, and we will discuss further what must be done. Bleakrift is likely to be a dangerous place now, Nauglir. Be careful. I will continue my search for Radagast. Alright, so we're going to defeat Warmaster Uzor and acquire his orders, hopefully gain some insight. Now there are some other quests for us to do in Bleakrift while we're there, which we might as well do. So we're going to pick up those two quests. Orc Thieves, we're going to collect Candaith's bow while we're there. And also... Yep, collecting his bow. And also, we're going to prepare for the future, collecting lockboxes that the orcs have stolen and see if they contain anything useful. So off we go. We're going to mount up and ride to Bleakrift. Bleakrift is just around here to the northwest, as Candaith said. We're just going to ride up the road here. There's a bit of a sneaky route that we'll take in a second through a little gap in the hills. Yes, just through here, gap in the wall and the rocks, and fall down here, and we're almost at Bleakrift just by taking that little shortcut there. Alright, so Candaith was saying some interesting things there about the orc force, that there was a patrol of orcs that distracted him from finding Radagast, and they are, as we know, White Hand orcs. Now we know that they're White Hand, we've seen it on their banners and on their armor, but Candaith does not know the significance of this. As we know, the White Hand is the symbol of Saruman, and so we know that these orcs are in service to him, but Candaith and the other rangers do not yet know this, and so information perhaps we will have to keep to ourselves as well. Gandalf knows that Saruman has betrayed the Order, but no one else does, and that information is not revealed until the Council of Elrond, I believe. So we are kind of in the know a bit. If you've read the story, or if you've read the books or the movies, then you'll definitely know that Saruman is evil, but he was a force for good for a very long time, although some argue with that. He did do lots of good for the world of Middle-earth, but unfortunately has turned. It looks like we've got a friend here, a hunter, who is doing the same quest as us. We're just going to help him fight these enemies at the same time, kind of give us both credit for killing those enemies. And I think we're going to help him out, yes. We're going to defeat this grunt for him with a devastating shot, and then we're going to save him from this White Hand archer that was going to attack him and do grievous harm. Alright, so we found the bow, so collecting that archer and saving Berendil, I think it is, or Berenil, there we go, Beren. Saving him definitely was worth it, because we got Candaith's bow out of it. Just collecting those lockboxes there, 6 out of 8, and we're going to lead the charge. Berenil, your services are no longer required to us, though maybe you'll take on this White Hand archer for us. We're just going to keep running up here to the next lockboxes. We're going to keep fighting as many as we can at once, because again, these orcs are very low in health and very low in level compared to us. So we'll just be bringing them down with ease, usually. There we go. And look, Berenil did take care of that White Hand archer for us, taking him off our hands. Very helpful of you, Berenil. Alright, just collect that lockbox and that supply crate, and we'll be moving on quickly. I just inspected Berenil there. So what you can do, you can right-click on the portrait, inspect them, get to see their equipment, and also their level, their race, their class, other information about them. So that's something you can do with anyone. You can turn that off. If you don't want to be inspected, you can make yourself anonymous, which disallows people from inspecting you. But I tend to leave it off. So if you're ever in game and I'm online, yeah, make sure you give me an inspect if you want. See what equipment we've got equipped for this time. Yeah, I mean, if you want, you can if you want, but you don't have to, obviously. Now, here we found Kassak, who is a rare signature, and looks like he's given us some good gear. Rare signatures, again, are just named enemies that you find out in the wild, and they give you rare crafting rewards, which that sapphire shard is one. So sapphire shards are good for journeyman level crafting, and we're going to beat War Master Uzor here. So whenever we find a rare signature, we're going to kill it. Rare elite master, whatever, we're gonna kill it because their rewards are good. Now we don't want to kill War Master Uzor too quickly because we want to let Berenil have a chance to kill the War Master with us. There we go. So he should have gotten credit for that kill just like us. And we've collected the orders there. It's really annoying when you're trying to do a quest and someone else kills the boss or a type of enemy that you need, and you just got to sit there and wait for them to respawn. It's really a pain. So we're just doing Berenil a bit of a service there, not killing that orc too quickly. And we're going to ride out of Belikriff now. So again, not able to read that orc letter, a bit sad, but not too bad. We're going to jump down this little cliff here and then jump off the waterfall to swim back to where Candaith is. So jumping off the waterfall there. I think we're going to discuss some more stats on the character sheet whenever I decide to open that up. And recording in the future is not as easy as some people say it is. Alright, here we go. Looks like we're looking at some stats. If you remember from last, a couple of episodes ago, we looked at the avoidance stats. And now we're going to move on to the mitigation stats under that mitigation heading. Now you can see there's two different allotments of those stats. There is the damage source and the damage type. And we're going to be talking, just for now, about the damage source. So these are just flat ratings. You get them just from pieces of gear that give you melee damage, melee defense and range defense. Mainly, you get them from... mainly you get range defense from shield. So if you're a character with a shield, then you'll get some range defense probably on that shield. Now, they're very simple. It just reduces the incoming damage by that source by a flat percentage. So the more rating you have, the more percentage the damage will be decreased, which is very helpful, especially for tanks. Now, there's melee, range, and tactical. Do not confuse tactical defense with tactical mitigation. They're two different stats, and tactical mitigation is talked about a lot more than tactical defense. You rarely see anything with tactical defense on it. Tactical mitigation, much more important. We'll get back to that later. Alright, we're back at Candaith. We've got some things to hand back to him. We've got his bow to give him back, and his spare bow is not nearly as good as ours. And so we're just going to take the power potions, finish off that quest. And also we have the lockboxes to give back. So we'll finish that quest. We're so close to hitting level 27. I think we're going to hit it here. Another letter written in the black speech, Nauglir, and its meaning evades me, as did that of its fellow. This one, however, bears the mark of the white hand. I must know what message this letter bears, Nauglir. This is not a task for you, Nauglir. I have finally discovered information on the whereabouts of Radagast, but there is something you should see first. Well, okay, so he's given us some rewards, neither of which are good for us, so we're just going to take the one that's worth more. And there we go, level 27.
What do you need?
Let's just read this and then we'll get the benefits of level 27. As I was returning from the lands to the east, the night sky over Weathertop was lit by bright flashes of white light, akin to lightning. Yet no clouds darkened the sky, and of thunder there was no sound. I think that no ordinary storm visited Amon Sul that night. I ask you to search the ruins atop Weathertop, and see if there is anything to find, friend. If you find anything out of the ordinary, return to me immediately. Alright, so Candaith is going to send us to the top of Amon Sul, where we defended with him, and it seems as though he has witnessed the same thing that the Hobbits and Strider witness on their way to Weathertop. About 3 days before they reached Weathertop, they saw flashes of lightning from the top, and that is, of course, the battle between Gandalf and the Nazgul. And it seems that Candaith saw the same thing, just as he was returning from the east. So he's traveling west, Strider and the Hobbits traveling east, and they saw the same event at the same time, and Candaith is getting us to investigate what is up. I think we are before the Hobbits have passed through here, so we are going to investigate what's happened and see what the flashing lights were all about. But we've reached level 27. There's not much benefit to 27, except we get a trait point. So we're going to put our extra trait point into the best trait for champions, in my opinion, Ardent Rage, getting us an extra fervor point when we hit Battle Frenzy. Very, very useful. We can't apply it right now because we are in combat with a bird. That's all right. There we go. We can apply it now. And riding up to the top of Weathertop, we're going to hit into our melee line as well. Another trait point into that extra strike skills damage. And mount up again. I think we forgot to switch back, so we're going to dismount and mount up again. All right, off we go. Trying to ride to the top of Weathertop. And just as we ride, look at this really nice landscape here. I mean, this is just lovely. You can see all the way to the east there, the ruins of Narost. Out to the east, we fought half-orcs in, and then further off to the east, the ruins of Ostgaruth that we have just begun questing in, actually. So we're off over there, ruins of Ostgaruth. And then to the south, Minas Eriol, where we quested a couple of episodes ago with the Eglain, the members of the Forsaken Inn around there. And you can even see that little path along the hill that we didn't travel across, but there are more ruins over there. Okay, we've found some Sharp Eye Scouts, I see. So we're going to deal with these birds quickly, collect them all up, and deal with them, dispatch them with ease, using our new Battle Frenzy skill. It looks like we've confused this Sharp Eye Scout. I don't think I've explained confusion before. Basically, confusion just means that you could see there that the enemy had floating question marks going all around him. It basically means that the enemy can't path to you. They can't figure out where you are. And so they kind of bug out and just go, they freak out and they go, I can't do anything. I can't deal right now. Just, do nothing. And I was looking here for the actual name of what that effect is called, but I couldn't remember. And I still can't remember. I could probably look it up, but I can't look. We just call it confusion mainly in-game. So what it means is you can't hit them and they can't hit you because they can't find you and they think that's unfair. So every attack that you launch at them automatically misses. So you have to find a way to reactivate them, either by walking near them so they can find you and path to you properly, or by, just running away, maybe. But it is really annoying sometimes. It can really break some instances if you confuse the wrong enemy, because you just can't advance through the instance. All right, before we look at that rune-covered rock, we're going to look at the scenery. I mean, look at that. The great scenery of the Lone Lands. We can see all the way out across the Lone Lands, and then I think if we look to the east, we can see back into Breeland. Into the west, sorry. We can see back into Breeland. You can see the Midgewater Marshes there, and then Bree is off in the distance, a bit further than we can see. Just back there, around there. But yes, this game, I do love the landscapes. Even though the graphics are running on a 20-year-old engine, they still astound me sometimes. They do landscapes pretty well, and even they do skies pretty well as well. So, yeah, just having a look at the sky there. All right, that's enough dilly-dallying. Looking at the sights. Let's look at this rune-covered rock. Seems that someone was trying to leave a message. So we're going to examine the rock. Now, of course, we know that this is Gandalf leaving a message. But we're just going to take a rubbing of the runes, not knowing what they are, and put it in our pack. And we're going to ride back down to Candaith. And on our way, I think we can discuss mitigations some more. Right, so we looked at melee defense, range defense, tactical defense. They're the defense stats. Not nearly as commonly used as the mitigation stats. Physical and tactical mitigation are some of the main stats that you're going to have to worry about when you're looking at the defense of your character. So physical mitigation reduces physical damage, and tactical mitigation reduces tactical damage. Physical damage, examples of that are things like swords, bows, that sort of thing. Anything that is non-magical, really. And then tactical damage is like fire, magic, light, yells, that sort of thing. They are all tactical damage types. Now, as you can see there, it's just a rating that turns into a percentage of reduced damage. So very helpful for tanks and other things. So you're going to want to make sure you're getting enough of that. Physical mitigation comes from your armor mainly. You get 1 point of physical mitigation for every point of armor. It doesn't come from anywhere else. I was looking around to see where that extra physical mitigation was coming from, but I couldn't find it. It doesn't come from vitality, which I thought, or any of the other stats, but it does come from armor. 1 point of armor turns into 1 point of physical mitigation, which is very helpful because it lets you max out your physical mitigation, especially if you're a heavy armor class, quite easily. Then also we have tactical mitigation. Tactical mitigation is much more important because you don't just automatically get it from armor. You do get 20% of your armor added to tactical mitigation, but then you also get it from will and fate. So will and fate also contribute to tactical mitigation, as well as 20% of your armor, giving you a bit of a bonus there. That is much more important to focus on because tactical attacks are usually even more powerful than physical ones. And so when you're doing high-level content, you really do need that tactical mitigation stat going well. All right, let's read this quest text. Ah, you've found something. Let me see this rock rubbing you've made. The runes are common, but I do not know what they signify. I'm afraid this does not tell me much of the lightning Nauglir, but it tells me something of the source. Likely the same person responsible for sending you to me. Right, there we go. So we've discovered that Gandalf was the one to leave those runes, which we did know, but it seems that Candaith has discovered it also. We're just going to finish up the episode here. We're just going to get this new quest here. We can see that it's a solo quest. I think I explained that you can take this at a fellowship level and do it with 6 people.
What do you need?
But obviously we are doing this alone, so we're going to do the solo quest. Let's read the text and then we'll finish up the episode. Nauglir, I have news of Radagast, but I must ask you once again for assistance here. The letter you recovered from Bleak speaks of the Orcs' true goals, taking control of Amon Sul. Our Orc forces are to move toward the crest of Amon Sul under the cover of night, and will move in a large group, establishing small units along the path in that larger force. We cannot stand against the force when they are assembled, but we can once they are splintered. They wish to establish a base that will allow them a vantage over the entirety of the Lonelands. We must foil their plans, Nauglir. Return to me when you are ready. Together we shall scale Amon Sul and defeat Rigel, their leader, before he can carry out his master's will. We will definitely accept that quest, and we will be doing that first thing next episode. But guys, that is going to be all for today. Thank you so much for watching. Sorry about the audio. It's a real bummer for me as well, but next time I'm sure it'll be perfectly fine. But as always, guys, this is Nauglir. It was a pleasure playing with you, and I'll see you tomorrow.